What's up, fellas? Let me get a few things in order. Gotta do some audio tests. Then we should be good to go. Can everyone hear me pretty good so far? Oh, that should be happening. Let's see. All right, it looks like we should be good to go. Those of y'all in the chat, if y'all can hear me, can y'all give me a thumbs up or yes, y'all can hear me? Because I know sometimes these Q&As, the sound isn't perfect. But while y'all are doing that, I'd like to say welcome to the official Ubereats Q&A for the applifestyle.org. This Q&A, as usual, is the general Q&A on Uber Eats, so feel free to ask anything. But we will go over additional holiday strategies for, because Christmas and New Year's is coming up, as well as discussing what is the proper time you should give a restaurant before kind of leaving. As y'all know, the wait times changed a few months ago where Uber Eats doesn't reimburse you for waiting past 15 minutes. And they say they pay for wait time like in 13-cent intervals or whatever per minute. But truth be told, there are times where it's taking too long. You got to go so you don't end up losing money. How do you kind of determine that? We're going to get into that a little later in the Q&A. It's all clear here. That's much appreciated. Yeah. All right. Right off the bat. Okay. How long do you wait at a place before you say peace? Ricky, my standard time is 5 minutes. I will get into this later in the Q&A because we literally just started, but I will give a restaurant 5 minutes. And when I get there, I ask them specifically, if it's not ready, what's the ETA? Now, if it's a restaurant I do business with on a normal basis, I know they, for the most part, have their stuff together. I'm willing to wait 5 minutes, maybe a few minutes more, for the simple fact that I know that they're kind of on top of their stuff. But if it's a new restaurant, I'm paying close attention to them. They're kind of on the trial phase, because let's say they say 5 minutes. I'll wait the 5 minutes. But if it goes any longer than 5 minutes, I'm out. And I kind of put them in a timeout. The reason being, I don't have time to play around with these restaurants. It's to both our benefit if they tell us if it's going to be longer than 5 minutes. Because longer than 5 minutes, that's enough time for another driver to come. And that's enough time for you to get back to work, more or less. Hi, I was deactivated on Uber Eats. Do you know how to get back on? Raphael, how did they state what reason you were deactivated for? Because that's kind of going to determine where that goes from there. I mean, you can always ask them directly, but when they sent you that deactivation letter, what reason did they give you? Was it because of a satisfaction rating, or, I mean, what was the reason? Ricky, yeah, 5 minutes only. No point in waiting now that the wait fee is no more. Dude, you're probably going to go to the local hub and talk to them. I agree with Ricky. I mean, I can't personally tell you, for some fact, I don't work for Uber. In that situation, you would have to go to the hub. Yeah, I can, if you say what you're deactivated for, I can comment on it, but ultimately, you should probably swing by the hub. I will say this, deactivations they're rare on Uber Eats. For some, like UberX, you may get deactivated for a stupid reason. Then Uber looks into it. Then a few days later, they reactivate you. But Uber Eats is kind of rare. I had 3 late ETAs. So you're saying that the customer, when you drop the food off, the customer complained to Uber, and that happened 3 times, and that's the reason you got deactivated? Yeah, I'm interested in finding clarity on that. What's up, Isaiah? Well, we're already almost at the 5 minute mark. So once we hit the 5 minute mark, we'll go ahead and dive deeply into it. Has anyone else heard any stories about getting deactivated from Uber Eats? Because I'm gonna be honest, Raphael, you're the first case. But if the reason is so trivial, I definitely would go to a hub. I mean, that's not appropriate. all that is calculated in your satisfaction rate. And as long as everything is balanced there, you should be good. Getting ready to go deliver. A Sunday has a lot of activity, especially this time of year. Speaking of which, I heard this from a lot of people, both locally and online, but apparently on Thanksgiving, people are more gluttonous than usual because it's usually kind of dead the weekend after Thanksgiving, but that Sunday, Uber Eats got slammed, and it was just endless, 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 and that didn't normally happen, so that was a nice little treat. You got to try hard to get deactivated on Uber Eats, Ricky. Well, that's what I mean by it. It's pretty uncommon. I'm interested in finding the context. Uber Eats boost in my area has been 1.1. It's hard to make anything. Brian, are all your boosts 1.1, or is it just your immediate area? If you're aiming for the boost, if another part of your market offers a higher boost, you might want to make a little commute. I was late due to traffic. It's some BS. I might just focus on DoorDash and Grubhub. Raphael, what was your satisfaction rating? So I'm kind of thinking that's probably more the reason. But yeah, you had 99% satisfaction. I would swing by the hub and talk to them, see if there's anything that can be done, if it's a misunderstanding or whatever. But if they're like, hey, that's too bad. Well, the business side of me is going to say, well, the hell with you. There are other options out there. Even though I'm not someone that does a bunch of apps. I mean, if you get deactivated off of this one, what other choice do you have? You got to go get it somewhere else. But I would swing by hub first because it could be a simple thing that needs to be done. All right, might do that. Let's get me back on. I hear the pay has gone up. Have you been deactivated for a while, Raphael? Let's see. Brian, Sundays are 1.3 and 1.4, and generally it's in all areas. Brian, what I would do, I'll talk about this in the Advanced Uber Eats course, which is coming out later, but you got to focus. Is your objective the boost or tips? And in this case, the boost is, if it's 1.1, it's not really that much worth it. So you want to focus on tips. You need to figure out where in your market people are tipping at. Because I guarantee you in every market, there are places where people tip. They're just generous. They're lighthearted. They really respect their carriers. They tip you. And then there are areas of your market that they have an entitled mentality. They don't tip. So you need to find out what areas don't tip and avoid them like the plague, and hang around areas that do tip. Because in that particular case, tips play a bigger role in your earnings. Does that make sense, Brian? Hey, I wanted to share something that I learned recently. I'm a dual platformer, so I recently had to go to my local hub to update my vehicle inspection to maintain my UberX status. When I was waiting in line, I overheard a guy tell the inspector that he only drives for Uber Eats. The inspector then told him that he does not require an inspection. That sounds right, Ricky. Like, if you only have an Uber Eats only account, you don't have to. They're very, very, very lenient with things like that because no one is really getting in your car. You're just taking food around. So they're not. Ricky, think of it like this, because I know, if I remember right, you do Postmates sometimes too. When you got on with Postmates, did you have to do any type of inspection or upload any insurance or anything like that? I'm going to go on a limb and say you probably didn't, because you're delivering food. It's a completely different avenue. Now, for dual platformers, like me and you, since our accounts also qualify for UberX, we have to maintain standards of being able to keep people in our car. The point I'm getting to is I had them make a separate account for Uber Eats only. Ricky, I was going to make a video about that, but we might as well address it here. Because 2 months ago, I made a separate account for Uber Eats too. for a simple fact that Uber Eats only offers like certain boosts, etc. And since they offer certain things exclusive on the Uber Eats only account, I would need an Uber Eats only account to talk more about it. So I just signed up using a different email, and Uber doesn't really care. They actually kind of encourage it, especially since they kind of separated ever since the new app came out. The dual platformers don't get like boosts for Uber Eats. You get them for UberX, but not Uber Eats. So if anyone is listening, that is an option if you're a dual platformer and you want more boosts from Uber Eats. Now that I have a Eats only account, I now get surge pricing on all my deliveries. But Ricky, what you're getting boosts. Like on the dual platformer account, you can get surge for Uber Eats. If it's surging on UberX in the area, it'll start attaching the surge to your Uber Eats to the deliveries. But Uber Eats only accounts, they have the boost now. So I'm pretty sure you're noticing like, whoa, it makes a big difference when, before there wouldn't be any boost, so it'd be kind of minimum. But let's say it's a 1.5 or 1.6, etc., it makes a significant difference. So if you're a dual platformer, you don't get surge for any food deliveries you do. But you can get surge, but you won't get boost. Let me break down what I mean. A boost, let me just get a visual. I'll pull up a boost on my phone just so everyone will know what I'm talking about. But a boost is different from a surge. Surge is temporary based on the supply and demand. So as soon as the supply and demand are balanced again, it goes away. A boost, okay. Can everyone see that? Hold on. Let me turn the brightness down on my phone. Hold on. Because this is actually pretty important. Okay. Brightness. Okay. Everyone see this? That's boost. You see there's a zone. It has like a 1.4, 1.3. That's boost, okay? Now surge, let me see if I have a picture of a surge. I think I deleted it. Oh well. Anyway, surge is that red area that has like a 1.5 and it keeps going up to 1.7, then 2.0, etc. That's surge. Now Uber Eats has no surge. Okay, the Uber Eats only account, they don't have the ability to surge, but the dual platformer account, they have surge. Okay, so the boosts are just for the Uber Eats only account, and the surge is for the dual platformer. Okay, when I was explaining that, y'all have been asking plenty of questions, so I got to catch up. Isaiah, I was just about to ask about this. Okay. We should switch over sometimes. Because I got two accounts. My dual account got bigger, quick promotions, but my East account got boosts at night. Isaiah, I would encourage, obviously it depends on how much you're doing it. Like if you mainly do UberX and Uber Eats is kind of something to do when you're bored or it's low, it's probably not worth it. But if Eats is integral part of your app experience, it could be a big benefit to have the Uber Eats only account because they're the ones that are going to be getting the boost for Uber Eats. Also for Uber Eats on my account, any delivery I do after 10 p.m., Uber gives me an additional $5. That's a huge difference. Definitely. Bro, the point I'm making is that you can make more in some instances if you have a Uber Eats only account. Definitely, Ricky. And that's why it is good to have both. Everyone that's kind of shining in, I've kind of explained like the pros and cons of both of them. But the important thing to emphasize is Uber doesn't care about you having both. I mean, keeping it 100, I switch between both accounts all the time. Let's see. I had a situation where a restaurant did not release the food to me from their end on a double delivery. I was getting an error. I had to use a different navigation app to deliver it to the first customer. Now, you said the restaurant would not give you the food. So I'm assuming like out of your 2 deliveries, they wouldn't give you like the last delivery. Is that what you mean? Renee, is that what you mean? I had to go back to the restaurant to have them release the food. The second order took 45 minutes. I wonder if they counted that against me. Renee, I don't know, but I would tell you what I would do in that situation. I would have just canceled that order. The name, which they were giving you trouble with, I would have just canceled. Because it probably wasn't worth it to go back to the restaurant and then whole thing took 45 minutes. Because at that point, you only got 1 delivery practically within an hour. Yes, that is what happened. Yeah, I don't think it counted against you. You can look at your satisfaction rate to verify that, but I would say in that situation, I would have just canceled. If it does happen again, best case scenario, it doesn't, but if it does, I would just cancel. Let's see. Ricky, it happens sometimes. You just gotta reset your phone. Yeah, one thing you can also do, you can go to your app settings and force stop the Uber app. That reboots it. So you don't have to restart your phone. You can just force stop, and that's the equivalent of restarting. You don't think that is shady that Uber will pay one driver more than the other based on his account preference, Ricky? I would say it would be shady if they didn't care about you having both. I mean, the fact that they'll let you have both and there's no problem, I say it's not shady. Now, they could make it known. I shouldn't have to tell y'all that. Uber should be the ones to tell y'all that. That is kind of shady. Because like in the Ubereats 2018 video, I kind of broke down how we got from where we were to where we are now. Because truth be told, they were spending, from a budget perspective, I'm looking at it from the business end, they were spending a lot of money on both Uber Eats only and the dual platformers. And one was always unhappy, so it was like this back and forth thing. And they really had to do something to solve that, so this was their solution. From a business perspective, I can't really blame them, but they could make that more known. It's like, if you didn't have the curiosity to sign up for Uber Eats only account, you just would have been getting, you wouldn't have been getting any boosts. I mean, the surge on the dual platformer is great, like during this time of the year, but when it slows down, like after the first, it's going to slow down because a bunch of people are going to hop on Uber Eats to make up for the rideshare slowness because there's going to be a lack of business conferences for a little while. College students are going to be at home, so there's not going to be like any college activity. So a bunch of people are going to start doing Uber Eats to balance out things. So the fleet will be a little bloated. During then, that's where the Uber Eats only account will come in handy because you'll have consistent boosts since you won't be able to rely on the surge. Let's see. Yes, that's what's happened. Now, just so making sure everyone is on the same page with this account issue, as Ricky said, this is a big deal. Now, if y'all are still confused, do y'all want me to make a video exclusively explaining that? Or is everything we've kind of laid out enough? Because it's a pretty big issue. The difference can be pretty big, especially if there's not much surge on the dual platformer account. And like I said, Uber doesn't do the best job at explaining this. So if everyone is clear on the accounts, like just thumbs up or yes, etc. But if you want me to make a video on it eventually, I can do that because it's a lot of confusion around it. On the other side, my dual account is platinum status, so I get like 6% more on my time and distance. So I guess break even with the guys who do Uber Eats only. Well, Ricky, you're talking about Uber Pro, and that's not available in all markets. Like, I know they're beta testing it in 8 markets, and yours is probably one of them. So if it works out good, they should roll out in like all markets. If they do, it can be a benefit for Uber Eats. I like the direction that Uber's going. But for UberX, I don't think it's enough. I personally say that the rates would just need to go up for UberX. Like, the rates should not drop below $1 a mile after they take out their cut. So $1 per mile, period. And until they get to that point, you know, they're probably going to get backlash from drivers. Uber Pro is not available for you. No, it's not, Ricky. Like, you're in a market that is beta testing it. If it's available, they'll roll it out nationwide, probably at the beginning of next year, if they deem it successful. I actually did make a video about Uber Pro, and I'll be uploading it later. I'm not going to explain like what it is and everything, because there's plenty of people on YouTube that have already done that. But I just explained my view on it. But drivers have been pretty mixed on it. Now, this is a Ubereats Q A, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it, but I've seen some pretty mixed views on it, I'll say. But it looks like everyone is good with the account status, so that's good. So we'll spend a few minutes on just holiday strategies for the Christmas and New Year, and then we'll go into the subject, which is how long should you wait at these restaurants. Generally speaking, Christmas is very similar to Thanksgiving in terms of holidays, but like I said before, the activity would normally drop off, but this Thanksgiving, like the Sunday after Thanksgiving, it was actually some serious activity. I guess more drivers decided to spend more time with their family, so maybe it couldn't hurt to get out there and try it. And then if it's sizzling, just stay out there. See, $1 per mile is my goal. Tough to hit with no boost hearing voice. Good with account explanations. Thanks. Yeah, Phil, what you could do, you could sign up for an Ubereats only account and see what it has to offer. Since it's not gonna hurt, I say why not? The issue with the Ubereats only account, that you can go to a hub and they'll walk you through it. But you can, when you sign up for Ubereats, like there's a certain link you got to click on, so it'll just be Ubereats only. Like I break it down in my video on how to sign up for what you want. You can follow the same process for signing up for Uber Eats, and that'll get you your Eats only account. You would just need to use a different email. Let's see. It's basically a point system where they give you different perks based on how many trips you complete. Yeah, Ricky's talking about Uber Pro. Now, it's also based on your rating. If memory serves me correctly, you have to be above a 4.85, but it's not that hard to stay above that. I mean, as long as you're not cussing someone out, your rating should be fine. Now, I will say this. I didn't know that the Uber Pro was going to contribute to Uber Eats. I thought it was going to be just for UberX trips. But if they are going to fold it over into Uber Eats, I would say that's pretty good. Doing Uber Eats only because of my car. No hub here in Boise either. We are back with if your market gets big enough, they're probably going to have to add a hub at some point. But Phil, you said you're doing Uber Eats only, so you have an Uber Eats only account. Okay. But yeah, well, as far as the Christmas thing goes, the day of Christmas, there won't be that many restaurants open if you were going to do it. Me personally, I'd probably sit that one out because I don't know if there'd be enough activity. Nah, I still get points towards Uber Pro status for all food delivery. That's what's up. Now, I would say Uber Pro is a little more valuable than to Uber Eats, the dual platformers. Because if what you're doing for Uber Eats is going to contribute to Uber Pro, that's pretty nice. Especially like the stuff they're talking about with the airport quarry and you getting priority and stuff. It is a little overpowered once you get it. I mean, if you don't have it, you'll be waiting at the airport forever probably. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to scrap that or if they're going to keep it. All right. We're not at the 30-minute mark, but we can go ahead and jump into it. All right, so everyone in the chat, you arrive at a restaurant and the food's not ready, and they give you a number. What is the magic number before you say, "Hey, another Uber driver will be here shortly. I got to run"? Everyone's probably gonna have a different number, but what number is too high? I gave mine at the beginning of the Q&A. I'll give it again, but just getting some activity going. What is y'all's number? Where is it? 5 minutes? Is it 7 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? I mean, what's the number we say, "Hey, I gotta go"? I've been waiting too long this week. I'm done with that. Isaiah, what's your number? What's too long? Ricky, 5 minutes. Look, truth be told, we shouldn't be waiting at all, but it does happen. Phil, 7 minutes. Isaiah, 5 minutes. Okay. Me personally, I judge it based on the restaurant. Now, for those of y'all that have looked at the Uber Eats only course, in part 4, I remember in part 4, I talk about, kind of valuing a restaurant based on a few factors. And one of the factors is the wait time. When it comes to that wait time, you got to really know what restaurant you're picking up from. Some restaurants, they just own it. And if it's one of those restaurants that's normally own it, but they're struggling at the moment, if I look and they're getting their butts kicked, they're just slammed, and then they say 5 minutes, or maybe even 7 minutes, I might be willing to wait a little longer for the simple fact that it's one of those restaurants. Now, if it's a restaurant that they habitually have you waiting, I put them in what I call a Uber Eats timeout, meaning I won't accept any trips from them for a few weeks. Then after a few weeks, I'll give them a try again. Now, after I put them in a few timeouts, if they are still failing, if I walk in there and it's long enough for me to want to sit down, that's a problem. And for me, that's longer than 5 minutes. If that's happening, then I just put them on the do not do business list. Because sitting at these restaurants, you are wasting time and money. Because it's not like before where Uber Eats is going to give you $5 for waiting 15 minutes. They say they pay for wait time, but let's be honest. As far as I'm concerned, they don't, because it didn't result in us making more money for the most part. You can't start paying per minute and then slice the per mile rate in half and say, "Hey, we pay for wait time." In my book, that's not. It's the equivalent to what it was before, except for you're not getting paid for wait time. So if we're not getting paid for wait time, we really need to evaluate who we do business with and bounce if they're taking too long. 5, but I've been allowing 7. Isaiah, like I said, you got to put these restaurants in categories. We get paid wait time now, correct? So it doesn't matter how long we wait. Gabrielle. Well, here's the thing, Gabrielle. A lot of people, myself included, we, in a lot of markets, if you waited longer than 15 minutes, you would get $5 reimbursed for wait time. So you actually were kind of okay with sitting there like, well, I'm going to get that $5, so it's going to kind of make up for it. So picture this. You are waiting at a restaurant, and the trip itself gives you, let's say, $9. And you waited for 20 minutes. You hit Uber up, and they give you the $5. Well, now you're at $14. It takes the sting out of you actually waiting. But that scenario won't take place anymore. So you'll be stuck with that $9. And you can see how that can put it in your earnings. They, on paper, like when you look at your pay statement or a screenshot of a trip or whatever, yeah, it says estimated wait time. You're getting paid for wait time. But the thing is, when they made that change, they're not going to pay you $5 for waiting 15 minutes. And they're saying, well, we pay you a certain cent per minute now, but they decrease the mileage rate. That if you drive 3 miles, you're now making less money on that per mile rate. So in my book, that's the equivalent of not doing anything. See, Ricky, no point in waiting over 10 minutes anymore. 20 cents per minute, not worth it. I agree, Ricky. And that cent is actually very dependent on your market. So some people may actually be getting less. In my book, they're not paying for wait time since we're not technically making more money. And to me, it just seemed like an excuse to get rid of that 5 minute per 15-minute thing. I mean, whatever. I always kind of suspected it is going to be temporary, but with these apps, you just got to adapt to what they do. And that's my adaptation. Now, I still got a list of restaurants that I don't go to. Even if it was so slow, I haven't gotten a ping in 40 minutes, which has actually never happened before. But if it was that slow, I still wouldn't go to some restaurants. Got one restaurant here that is slow in the afternoon, but quick at night. I've been canceling at lunch, but going there for dinner. Phil, you bring up a great point. The time of day with a lot of these restaurants is very key. There's a restaurant in Dallas that in the last half of dinner rush, let's say beyond 7:30, they're cool. You go in there, you pick the food up, and maybe you may have to wait maybe a minute or two. But between 5 and 7:30, they get their butts kicked. And you can wait there 10 or 15 minutes. So I learned that, you know what, just don't take any orders during that time frame. So the time of day is very critical. Different restaurants perform at different levels depending on the day, what time of day it is. You got some restaurants that are just slackers all around. But what Phil said is actually a very great point. I appreciate it. Phil, 9 cents a minute here after Uber's cut. Yeah. Like, the wait time is so minute, I don't even really include it as far as part of my strategy. Now, I will say this, and this goes into the waiting. How many people get double orders all the time? What I mean by that is you've already accepted the order, then you get another delivery that comes in, you take it. So now you have 2 orders. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do that, right? Just got to learn which restaurants are quick and which ones are slacking. Most restaurants are cooking food from scratch, so wait times will be longer. Yeah, that's definitely true. And if certain restaurants are fast food, but they're not living up to their name, then maybe it's time to bounce. But Isaiah, yep, doubles. This plays a role in wait time. Because a lot of times they may have your first order ready, but your second order is like, hey, the second order is not ready. Now, what do you do in that situation? Now, a lot of people think they're obligated to take both orders. You're not. At any point, you can cancel the second order. I do it a lot. In fact, I have some restaurants where I know it's heavy on them during certain times, so I won't take double orders from that restaurant because I know I'm just going to end up canceling. But yeah, at any point, you can cancel the second order if you feel the wait is going to be way too long. Or if it's during a certain time of day, I won't take any doubles from that restaurant. Because this is something that I when I see it, I just don't understand it. But you have drivers, like I'll walk in and they have an order, but they're waiting for the second order. I'm kind of like, so how long you been waiting, bro? I've been waiting like 10 minutes. You don't want to do that. I would say after a few minutes, after 5 minutes at the most, take your first order, go ahead and deliver it and move on. Because just sitting there waiting for that second order, you already have like money right there. And the second order is like a small bonus, I see. But if it's going to take too long, then that small little bonus will end up losing you money. Because it's going to take a certain amount of time to deliver both orders, right? You're waiting there 10 minutes. You had to drive over there. Let's say that took another 10 or 15 minutes or whatever. So you're already at 25 minutes and you haven't even left the restaurant yet. So when you finally do leave the restaurant, let's say the delivering the order takes another 15 or 20 minutes. So now you have 40 or 45 minutes. You've made, I guess, depending on how much the delivery paid, between $4 and $9 and the boost and all that. Now you have 15 minutes to get another order to stay within that $11 to $18 range and complete the order. What's the likelihood of that happening? Unless it's going around the corner, You see how it's not adding up in the long run? A lot of times these doubles are way overrated. So you got to kind of analyze the situation beforehand. Let's see. Cancel second order because you might not get a tip from your first order, Gabrielle. That's true. Well, I can actually make a video on this, but let me pull up a screenshot to show y'all this. Because I know we think that we're inconveniencing the first order, but that's actually not the case. The way Uber Eats handles it, this was a while ago, so this might take a while. But when a person is placing an order, they have the option to share a carrier, and they can get a discount on their order. So it says, would you like to share a carrier? You can get $2 off your order. That's basically them acknowledging that the order is going to take longer because they're sharing a carrier with someone else. So they already know you're going to be coming later than expected. You only see this on the customer app, and I'm trying to find the screenshot. Oh man, I got way too many photos on my phone. But yeah, that's how that works. I was actually kind of curious about that before I found that out. I really want to show y'all, but I cannot find it. McDonald's Day. Yeah, it looks like that's not going to happen. But yeah, Gabrielle, that's actually how that works. And that's actually a pretty clever way. So people are expecting for you to be a little late, so they still may tip you. And they're okay because they're getting a discount. I mean, they could always say, hey, no, I don't want to share a carrier, and then you won't get a double. Or the double for that order, it won't be no double, if that makes any sense. Oh, here. Wait. I think I found it for you guys. Give me one sec. Yeah, here we are. Okay, y'all. I'm going to leave this up for like 30 seconds, but with y'all reading it, y'all can tell this is what a person sees when they want to get that discount, which in turn can lead to it taking longer to fulfill their order. So they'll have an option to get a discount on their food, knowing that they'll be sharing a carrier. Let's see. Waypoint, I stay 20 minutes to wait for a second order once. Makes sense to cancel second one. Next time, I'm looking at that wait time. Definitely, Phil. And I'm not saying you got to go in there and instantly hit the stopwatch. Well, you can, but just kind of mentally think of how long it's taking. And one thing I do, when I walk in the restaurant and I show them the order name, I look at the phone before I show them just to keep a mental note of what time it is. Because that 5 minutes, I really don't joke around with that, especially if it's a new restaurant. If it's a new restaurant, I may actually just wait just to see what the experience is like. Now, if it goes past 10 minutes, screw that, I'm gone. But I'll sit there just to see if it's worth going back to. I call that like my experimental phase. Because these new restaurants, and let me show y'all how to identify a new restaurant. I'm going to pull the customer app up because you can identify if a restaurant just got on Uber Eats. I know if you know your area, you'll recognize, hey, this wasn't here before. I've been working this area for 6 months and I've never seen it before. It must be new. True. But you can find out how new they are. Once again, you go to the customer app to find this out. Like, this customer app is very undervalued in the Uber Eats community. It can really let you know some things. But I'm gonna go to just any restaurant. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. So everyone sees the restaurant. You see the rating. Right next to it, it shows how many customers have rated them. Now, customers rate the restaurant all the time. They love it, they give them a thumbs up. They don't like it, they give it a thumbs down. If a restaurant doesn't have a rating, that means they are brand spanking new. And when I identify as new, they are on trial period. I need to identify if they're worth going to or not. And if they have less than 100 ratings, that still means they're fairly new. So that's good information to know. Just so you know what to expect when you go in there, you can kind of be like, okay, is this place worth going back to? But yeah, when it comes to wait time, I'm going to say that the best time is 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, it's time to go. And if they habitually go past 5 minutes, it's time to, just put them in a timeout or maybe just avoid them altogether. Like Phil said, you want to keep the time of day in mind, because I'm noticing that a lot of restaurants will be okay during lunchtime, but they get slammed during dinner time, which, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why they turn the app on if they're already getting their butts kicked. I understand it's extra money, but some of these restaurants, you can tell they're really pushing that maximum efficiency. So, does anyone have any questions as far as the wait time and what's the best time to wait? I mean, the best thing would be if we didn't have to wait at all. But I guess that might be asking a little too much. All right. Sounds like everyone is clear on the wait time. Someone typing something? On any other note, y'all have any other questions as far as Ubereats is concerned? Because I guess I could bring it up. I'm going to make a video about this. There's actually been a lot of debate as far as using other companies' insulated bags. Have y'all, some of y'all probably seen the video I made. I'm just going to be honest. When it comes to like an insulated bag, it's best just to use a neutral company. I mean, a neutral bag. Like some people use their competitors' bags to do Ubereats with. That's something I don't recommend. Like in the chat, the insulated bags y'all use the normal bag or y'all using like competitor bags? Yeah, I would recommend you don't use a competitor bag. I kind of gave the reason why in the video, so I'm not going to rehash it. But there are a lot of people that are kind of, I think someone commented the other day, well, actually a few minutes ago, saying that, hey, just use the bag from a competitor. And that's just something I can't endorse, guys, because I know it can get people in trouble. Anyone have any thoughts about that? Let's see. I confused a customer once because I had a Postmates bag. I have neutral bags now. I hear you, Gabrielle. And well, that is one thing. It can be confusing. But on a higher note, like, everyone that's been following my channel for some time knows that the channel was originally called the Uber Lifestyle. I talked to y'all about a trademark and all that. I was aware of it. And the moment they changed their terms of service, I switched it to the app lifestyle because they're starting to get serious about that registered trademark. And I don't blame them. But in that same note, just like when some UberX drivers were handing out like business cards to their passengers, Lyft business cards with like, hey, get a free ride with Lyft and, I'll get paid for it, etc. Uber found out and they started deactivating drivers for it because they're promoting their competitors. And they can't control what we do since we're independent contractors. The exception is when you're promoting a competitor. And even though that might not be your intent, if you're using an insulated bag, with a competitor's logo on it to deliver food, it can be seen as using their business as a conduit to promote a competitor. And that's actually, if they wanted to, they could sue you for that. Obviously, they'll deactivate you for it. So it brings a whole bunch of territory. I don't personally think it's worth it. I would just say just get a neutral bag, like you just said. I mean, yeah, there's bags on the app Lifestyle, but like I said in the video, you can go to the dollar store and get you like an insulated, plastic bag for maybe $1, $2, $3. So yeah, I will always say it's just not worth it. Just go ahead and get you a neutral bag. Like, here's a good example. Y'all know how I have the Uber t-shirt on when I'm doing delivery sometimes. Let's say if it's slow, and I've told you if it's real slow, then maybe I'll click Postmates on too. Well, if I get a Postmates delivery, hey, guess what? This hoodie I have on, or any hoodie for that matter, is in my trunk. I'm gonna throw the hoodie on top of that Uber shirt, just so it's not showing when I make my Postmates delivery. It's literally the same concept. Oh, swinging back to the wait time, let's get some ideas flowing as far as what would be the perfect wait time per minute, which you actually wouldn't mind waiting at a restaurant. Like, how much per minute do you think is the perfect time? Like 30 cents, 40 cents? How much would you say? I use a personal bag, Caliget one. Renee? Yeah, I mean, when it comes to an insulated bag, there's a lot of choices. It depends on what you want. Like for me, one thing that's crucial for me, I want to have something that I can strap on. Now that costs a little more money, but I'm willing to pay it because I know I'm going to get it back. Plus, at the end of the day, I can just, however much that bag costs, I'm using it to maintain or expand my business so I can write it off. Legal disclaimer, not a tax professional. Consult with one before you take any advice. Yesterday, a lady was using a DoorDash bag at McDonald's. Renee, was she driving for Uber Eats or was she with DoorDash? I'm assuming she was driving with Uber Eats. Because me personally, I wouldn't do it because I ran a small business for 4 years, and I sure wouldn't want anyone that was promoting me using my business to promote my competitors. They would be gone. I'm just being honest. But it's just something I don't really consider ethical to begin with. But this time around, there's some like lawful ramifications going. Like when they changed that that was already against the terms of the agreement. But when you read the changes they made this time around, they're getting serious about stuff like that. So like I know people hear me say this like, whatever, they're not gonna find out. But let's say they did. Like they actually, not only would they deactivate you, they may actually consider doing other things. I don't personally think it's worth it. I mean, plus there's a part of me that does think it's kind of lazy. Since you're just investing in your business, you might as well just get another insulated bag. This neutral. But what would y'all say is the best optimal wait time for Uber Eats to pay that you wouldn't mind waiting at a restaurant? Like if they paid 50 cents per minute, would you sit there and put your feet up and wait? Isaiah said yes. So if they increased it 50 cents per minute, that'd be the price for like, it's not ready? Cool. I'm just going to be over here sitting, take as long as you want. And how much hold on, wait. 50 cents per minute. So that would be, if you actually just sat there, that would be $30. If the restaurant actually took an hour, I mess with that. I know 50 cent might be a little, come on, that's excessive. But I would say it needs to be higher than 20%. I mean, 20 cent. Do you mix Uber Eats and UberX when you work? Not, I rarely do, Isaiah. Because the closest thing I'm assuming what you mean by mix is like have both of them on at the same time. Not really, because there are times of day which one is going to specialize. Like lunchtime, very slow on UberX, but it's popping on Uber Eats. And in the morning time, like 6 to 9, everyone's going to work. Good for UberX. Real slow on Uber Eats because most restaurants don't open till like 11 o'clock. So I'll have like one on just based on the time. Then you have dinner time and rush hour where they're both kind of popular. But I don't know. I used to when I was first starting, but this time around, I get in the mode of like talking to people when I'm with UberX. So when I switch over to delivery, it's kind of like an energy die down. Like, oh, that's a bummer. I don't have anyone to talk to. And when I'm in Uber Eats only mode, I'm jamming to the music that I get to pick, or I'm listening to some audiobooks, so I get in that kind of mode. So kind of mixing them, it's like, yeah. I guess if it was slow enough, I probably would. But then again, this time around, I would say no. I'd do it for 30 cents per minute. That'd be $18 per hour. How do you feel? I think that's a good break-even point. I think 30 cents per minute would be worth waiting however long it took for them to do the food. In most cases, it will be fine. I would wait. See, she was Renee. She's picking up Uber and giving them a hard time about how they packed her order. Well, you know what? Some people just really trip me out. What does she care how they pack? Now, I will say this: some people at restaurants, I wonder where their mind is at. Like they'll give you like a beverage and they'll put the straw in it, like you're about to drink it. And I'm like, I'm not about to drink that. Take that straw out and just give me a straw, put in the bag. And if I hand it to the customer like this, they don't think I was sipping on it. What in their mind makes them think that would be right? But you don't react to it like how this person was. And the insulated bag thing, I said it once, I'm going to say this again. We got to get in the entrepreneur mindset, the independent contracting mindset, okay? People are saying that Uber Eats should provide the bag. Now, if they did, that would just be advertising for them. That's why these companies do it. It's just advertising. They don't have to. Independent contractors, we're responsible for obtaining the tools we need to do our tasks. We're not their employees. And for that same reason, that's why there actually could be lawful repercussions if you're promoting their competitor against their terms and agreement. Like, you got to look at stuff like that. So many people come into these apps with an employee mindset, and it doesn't work that way. Let's see. Renee, 10 minutes. She was waiting 10 minutes, or she's giving a hard time for 10 minutes? What is the 10 minutes attribute to? Cynthia, you are so right about the mindset. I appreciate it. Because too many people, in this particular instance, like that employee mindset, well, really in general, will really do you in. Like if you have an employee mindset, an employee would sit there and wait for 40 minutes on some food and make like $5 and then just be pissed off that they made $5 an hour. You're in that independent contractor mindset. You're already looking at, okay, am I losing money? What's the repercussions of me just sitting here, et cetera? And when you determine it's not worth it, you leave. A lot of people blame these apps like for stupid stuff. When you look at a situation, then you're asking, why the heck did you do that? Or why didn't you do that? Yeah. All right. We're at the 54-minute mark. So in a few minutes, it'll be an hour and we'll close it out. But just closing in, does anyone have any questions about Uber Eats in general? I would say that what Phil said about that 30 cents per minute, I really think that'd be a break-even point. That way they wouldn't have orders floating around that people aren't doing. Because you can tell that this happened. The fact that they started that guaranteeing thing, like for orders that are floating around past how long they're supposed to be out there, that shows that drivers aren't accepting things from certain restaurants. Rightfully so. If they added something like that, well, maybe drivers will start going there. Let's see. Isaiah, do you do Eats More? Oh, you're asking which one eats more than X? Depends on the time of year. This time around, I have been doing Eats More. But yeah, this time around, I have been doing Eats More. Mainly two reasons. First reason, I'm going to be honest with UberX. I only really drive when it's surging. So that's like bar rush, maybe sometimes during rush hour and airport trips. But the airport trips during this time of year, they actually are heavy, but I don't really want to sacrifice leaving like my main area of activity to take someone to the airport. And then I'll probably get a request immediately. There's a good chance it'll take me back into Dallas. But, you know, it can take me anywhere. I mean, DFW is the third largest airport in America. It'll take me to Grapevine, to Fort Worth, to Arlington, the Grand Prairie. I'm naming places in my market, but it may not take me where I want to go. And then in the grand scheme of things, it may be costing me money because if I was in this area of activity, just doing the Uber Eats, I know I can make a certain amount of money, especially this time of year. Like in my market, they got like high boost, like 2.0 for Uber Eats. And they have like quests. Like once I finish this Q&A, I'm actually gonna get out and do some Uber Eats because they have like $8 per 3 deliveries, just an extra $8 until like 10 o'clock. So when you look at stuff like that, there is more money in Uber Eats right now, with the exception of like the bar rush and events and stuff like that. So I would say I do Eats more at this particular point. Phil, keep preaching the mindset. Most definitely, because I think more people need to bring stuff like that up. I mean, I would feel bad if I see people being naive about this stuff. I didn't say anything. Renee, I think I'm lagging too on my end. That was an answer to a question. Oh, I'm assuming that's the, yeah, I guess it must have been some lagging ball. But, oh yeah, there's something else I was going to tell y'all. I'm still going to do a video on taxes. They'll be coming up towards the beginning of next year. Unfortunately, my tax guide actually is not going to be available. But nevertheless, I'll still do a video on taxes. You know, I'll still give the normal legal disclaimer. But I'll go into how I have him do it. I'll go into how I keep track of taxes, what apps I use, and just ways I handle it in general. Because a lot of people complain about taxes, but these are the same people that complain about getting an insulated bag. And the reason that you're complaining about taxes is because you have that mindset where you don't want to spend money on your business, which is why you pay more in taxes. Like if you would have just got that insulated bag and you could just write that off and then it would reduce your taxes. So in the end, you're not really spending money. You're just paying it now and paying it to further yourself instead of giving it to the IRS. So that video is going to have a heavy entrepreneur mindset that a lot of people need to adapt because mindset is everything. Anyone know the popping areas in Austin, Texas? Brian, I can answer you that because I'm not in Austin, but for the same reasons, I don't ever answer questions about popping areas in my market for the simple fact that if you say what area is popping on a public forum, well, it's not going to be popping anymore. let's say you're in a hot spot, okay? And you pull up there, and then you said it's popping on a public forum, and then there's 10 other cars parked next to you, like, hey, what's up, homie? At that point, it's not a hot spot anymore. Or how to find out where those areas are. Yeah, Ryan, you want to go to part 3 and 4 of the Ubereats course. In fact, I will actually link it so that you can find it. Just give me a sec. Because I have a video on how to identify hotspots in your market. Let's see, where is it? Because you got to know where the hotspots are. If you don't know, other people know, and you feel like you're being left out. All right, that's the part 3 of the Ubereats course, Brian. And I recommend that you check out the whole thing because it's very intense on hotspots, so you can identify where they are in your market. Brian, aloha. I'm being serious. That's why. If you read the comments on my videos, you've probably seen some people ask like where are hotspots in the DFW, and I just send them to the video I just sent you so they can identify where they are. Let me say that XYZ is a hotspot, and then it's gonna be like, hey, we got an Ubereats hangout here during dinner time. There's 15 and 20 of us. Yeah, let's get here and have a little conference, and like no one's getting pings. I'm cool on that. All right, watch. I watch those videos more than once. I'm still learning new ideas each time I watch them. Much appreciated, Phil. Thank you, Brian. Hey, no problem. That's what they're there for. All right, guys. We're past the hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and hang it up and actually start getting it in myself. I'd like to thank y'all for attending the Q&A for the month of December. Next month, I won't do a Q&A. I'll just do that taxes video. And yeah, I'll just have to do a taxes video because I can't do, I already gave the reason why I wanted to do a Q&A in the first place. But, since it's not going to be available, what'd be more appropriate is going to be just the taxes video. But stay tuned for that. And so it's beginning of next year, the Advanced Ubereats course will be coming out. And the What If series of Ubereats will be going on until then. Like always, if you have any questions or comments, I'm always here. And I'll say happy holidays, everyone. Have a good day, a good week, and be safe out there when you're getting it in. I'll catch y'all in the next time.